The United States has just issued a travel advisory, and this is for people that are planning on traveling over spring break this year. Now, I want to break this down because what we are seeing is that the US is telling us do not travel to certain areas. Now, this is also concerning because we are also getting reports that we are seeing more issues, more drugs, tainted alcohol make its way into the United States. So I want to break down what's going on and why you should be somewhat concerned, but at the same time, just be prepared and aware of what's going on. All I ask is one thing. It takes 2 seconds. Go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates. And now let's begin. So what is happening right now? Well, here's what I can tell you. The U.S. is issues Mexico increased caution warning right before spring break. This just came out the other day. Now, the reason I want to bring this to your attention is because there's millions of people that travel from the United States to Mexico every single year. To the tune of about 35 million people travel to Mexico. Here's the issue. We have millions of people that travel just for spring break. And during spring break, whether you're there for partying, you're there for family time, or just relaxation, there are still concerns. One of those concerns is that we are seeing some tainted alcohol. We're seeing prescription medication is being tainted as well. But I want to read you a couple things from this advisory. It says, U.S. citizens should exercise increased caution in the downtown areas of popular spring break locations, including Cancun, Playa del Carmen, and Tulum, especially after dark. However, I want to be very clear, it does not matter if it's after dark or it's still daytime. You need to take extra precaution. Even if you are buying food from a vendor on the beach, take extra precaution. Does it look like that food has been tainted? If you're having, let's say, fruit, and this is something that somebody brought up to me just the other day, is they were down in Mexico and these older teens, I guess, were selling fruit. The fruit was already peeled. There's already stuff sprinkled on it. Now, when I go to Mexico, and especially this like last summer, when I went to Mexico, if I'm going to have like a mango or something, I want to make sure they're peeling that mango right in front of me. Okay? That's just me personally. I want to make sure that nothing has been done. Okay? Nothing's being sprinkled on it. Okay? Just a regular mango. Now, obviously, there's still issues there. They could still, inject it with something, but again, just take extra precaution. Now, I want to read you this next piece as well. It says right here, the message also warned of other potential hazards like unregulated alcohol and pharmaceuticals. It says unregulated alcohol may be contaminated, and U.S. citizens have reported losing consciousness or becoming injured after consuming alcohol that was possibly tainted. Okay? Down here it says medication should be purchased in consultation with a medical professional and from reputable establishments. That's key. Okay? Those are two key things. I want to read you one other thing. This is actually the Mexico travel advisory as well. You can see right here, it says the country summary. Violent crimes such as homicide, kidnapping, carjacking, and robbery is widespread and common in Mexico. The U.S. government has limited ability to provide emergency services to U.S. citizens in many areas of Mexico, as travel by U.S. government employees to certain areas is prohibited or restricted. In many states, local emergency services are limited outside the state capital or major cities. Now, there is a list of places that you should not travel to. I want to read that to you really quick. This is the do not travel to. There's Colima, Guerrero, Michoacan, Sinaloa, Tamaulipas, and Zacatecas. Those are all the places that you should not travel to. They say reconsider travel to these areas. There's Baja California, Chihuahua, Durango, Guanajuato, Jalisco, Morelos, and Sonora. Those are all places that you want to be very careful with. One of the things that we have heard, especially from Sonora, okay, any place close to the U.S. southern border, got to be careful, and it's because of the cartels. A lot of this, it's because of crime and kidnapping. Okay, I'll show you to you again. Look at all these. Look at all these. Okay, crime and kidnapping, crime, kidnapping, crime, kidnapping, crime, kidnapping. You see it, okay? Crime and kidnapping. That's the reason why we are being warned, do not go to Mexico or reconsider traveling to those areas. Now, I want to show you this as well. This is from the U.S. Embassy and Consulate in Mexico. You can see it right there at the top. This is actually from their website. This is from February 26, 2024, just a few days ago. It says spring break travel, location Mexico. Travel smart, be informed. Each year, thousands of U.S. citizens visit Mexico during spring break. While the vast majority travel safely, visitors should consider the following when planning their vacation or travel to Mexico. Consider crime, drugs, unregulated alcohol, pharmaceuticals, sexual assault, drowning, medical emergencies, guns and ammunition, arrests, and obviously immigration. Now, last thing I want to leave you with. When you are traveling abroad to another country, most people stay very, they're aware of what's going on. They're vigilant because you're in another country. Here's the concern. What about people that are traveling to Florida, to California, just down to, let's say, Texas, right? They're going to somewhere along the coast, and they're trying to get a little bit of relaxation time, a little bit of beach, some sun, right? What about those people? Well, here's a concern. We are now hearing more and more reports that there's more drugs making their way into the United States. There are more tainted, beverages making their way into the United States. Candy, chocolate bars, right? All these things that could potentially harm you are making their way into the United States or being produced right here in the U.S. Well, here's what we continue to hear, is that everyone is concerned about traveling to places like Mexico, to the Caribbean. But what about to Florida? What about to California? That's the concern, is that the United States has issued a spring break travel advisory talking about Mexico because of crime and kidnapping. But what about getting drugged in one of these other states here in the U.S.? What about assaults? Okay, sexual assault or not, or physical. What about that here in the U.S.? That's also a concern. And that's why I bring it to your attention, because what's happening in Mexico or when you go abroad is you're more vigilant, you're aware. Here in the U.S., it's like, oh, it's safe. We're okay. This beverage that we just bought from this vendor on the street, it's perfectly fine because it's coming from somebody in the U.S. No, you still have to remain vigilant. You still have to be aware and understand you could be taken advantage of at any time. They could hurt you. They could rob you. They could take your life. Think about all that stuff. Okay? Not saying it's going to happen. The vast majority of people, the overwhelming majority of people, travel without any problems, no issues. They're not being taken advantage of. They're not losing money. They're not losing their life. Okay? But it only takes one person. And that can change the entire narrative of the story. It can change the entire situation. All right? So just keep that in mind. This is just some news that I wanted to bring to your attention because I know a lot of people are planning for spring break here pretty soon. Just understand where you're going and what you're planning on doing. And if you can, obviously, travel in groups. It's just a little bit safer. So that's what we know at this time. As always, as I know more, I promise I'll come back on and share all the latest news and updates. But that is what we know as of today. So again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.